I'm about to tell you something that might surprise you. Strategic debt can be one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available. But stay with me, because this is one of 10 real estate truths no one tells expats, especially here in the Czech Republic, where the rules might feel different from back home. What I'm about to explain in this video could change how you think about property forever. Let's dive in. Debt is your friend, within limits. Get into debt as soon as possible. Does that sound crazy? Maybe, but once you understand inflation, real estate growth, and time horizons, it starts to make a lot of sense. Mortgage, it's a word that scares many people, and especially expats or people who were raised in a "debt is bad." When you move here, you're unfamiliar with the regulations, so it feels risky. I personally see a mortgage as a financial tool. I've been involved in loans since my first job at Česká spořitelna when I was 19. I often hear fears like, oh, what if I lose my residency? What if I want to move back home in 3 years? What if the market goes down? And I always explain, don't be intimidated. A mortgage isn't a trap, it's a lever. And understand the lever. Prague is one of the most expensive cities in Europe relative to wages. Not because it's a gold mine, but because supply is extremely limited and demand is high. Everything is getting more expensive. 100 years ago, you could buy 5 apartments in Vinohrady for 5 million Czech crowns. Today, that buys you a tiny studio in Žižkov. In 10 years, it probably won't buy you anything. But do you know who is happy about this? The borrowers. Inflation suits them perfectly because it reduces the real value of their debt while their asset grows. Let's look at the math. You buy a flat for 5 million today. In 10 years, conservatively, it's worth 7 to 10 million. You used 4 million mortgage, so you put in 1 million of your own cash, but the asset grew by 2.5 to 5 million. That is a massive leverage. In theory, that is 250 to 500% gain. And remember, if you leave the Czech Republic, the debt stays here, but so does the asset working for you. And you can rent it out or eventually sell later. Saving to buy is a losing game. This brings us to a truth number 2. Saving up to buy fully in cash is often a losing battle. I meet expats earning great salaries who say, I'll wait and save more so my mortgage payment is lower. At that point, you need to pour yourself a glass of red wine and admit the truth. You can't outsave the market. If a 5 million Czech crowns flat grew just by 5% a year, that's 250,000 Czech crowns. Can you save up that amount of money? Can you outsave the market? Probably not. And keep in mind, the property relatively is still for the same price. By waiting, you're actually falling behind. Meanwhile, you're paying off your landlord's mortgage instead of your own. The goal isn't to have 100% cash. The goal is to have 10 to 20% down payment and let the bank do the rest. The earlier you enter the game, the better. Time in the market beats timing the market. Truth number 3, the benefits of property are invisible in the short term, but massive in the long run. We established that 5 million flat today could be worth 7.5 to 10 million in a decade. Imagine 20 years from now, you look back at your purchase, the mortgage is almost paid off, and the value has tripled. You will only have one regret. It's a shame I didn't buy 2. I know, shoulda, woulda, coulda, and 20 years can sound like a long time range, but that's the thing. Think long term. Don't try to be a wizard predicting the crash. Don't look at news from the US or UK housing market. Prague is different. Keep your feet on the ground. The best time to buy was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. You must be able to hold, but never overextend. Now a warning. This truth number 4 is critical. In 10 or 20 years, life happens. For an expat, the risk is specific: visa complication, job loss, or needing to relocate back home for family reasons. And Murphy's Law said this usually happens when the market is down. If you're forced to panic sell during a dip, you lose. I've seen this happen, but I've also seen clients who just held on, rented out the place for a few years, and rode out the storm. So leverage is good, but safety is better. Your strategy shouldn't be sell immediately, it should be rent it out. Never borrow to your absolute limits. Keep a financial reserve so you can sleep at night, even if the interest rate spikes. Think of what if the rate will be higher, how much will be the repayments then, and always have a safety cushion for at least 3 to 6 months minimum. If you lose your income, you must have some savings which will cover the repayments. Buy for your future self or your future family. You are 25, you think, why buy? I want flexibility. And here's the reality. A family apartment today costs, let's say, 10 million Czech crowns. In 10 years, when you're ready for kids, it might be 20 million. Unless you win the lottery, you won't catch up. But if you buy a small flat for 5 million now, it might grow to 8 million. And now you have equity to trade up later. While your friends are complaining over beer that rents are high, you will be enjoying your Pilsner knowing that you made a smart move back then. Even if you leave Czech Republic, that flat still becomes your anchor asset that gives you options, and remember, you can always sell it later. Waiting for the perfect moment is a myth. I'll wait for the prices to drop, or I'll wait for the war to end. I forgot my crystal ball today, so I can't tell you when the market will hit the bottom, but I can tell you this: the perfect time usually feels like the worst time. It's when everyone is panicking and no one wants to buy. Be honest, were you brave enough to buy back then when it felt like the crash is ongoing? Probably not. In prime locations, prices don't drop too much, they kind of stagnate. Waiting for clarity is procrastination in disguise. Start when you're ready, not when someone tells you now is the perfect timing. Prague is becoming a European capital. Prague is no longer just a cheap Eastern European destination, it's becoming a major Western hub. You watching this video are a proof of that. Thousands of expats are moving here. The demand is not just local, it's global. This structural shift means prices are converging with cities like Munich or Vienna. The high demand from growing international population adds fuel to the fire. Don't bet against Prague. The trade-up trap. And here's another hidden truth. The gap between average location and prime location is widening. If you buy a cheap flat in a bad area, hoping to trade it for a flat in Vinohrady later, you might find that Vinohrady flat overappreciated twice as fast as yours. Every expat arrives here wanting to live in Vinohrady or Letna. It's natural, but if you want the prime location, buy as close to it as you can afford. The ladder is getting steeper and catching up later will be incredibly hard. Cheap always has a catch. There's not such a thing as free lunch. If a flat is 20% cheaper, there is a reason for it. It's in Černý Most, perhaps. Or, okay, but who will rent it out from you? Is it the ground floor with humidity issues? And here is the biggest trap for foreigners, the cooperative ownership, družstevní vlastnictví in Czech. You see a cheap price online, you can get excited and then realize banks won't really give you a mortgage for it. And as a foreigner, you might have even legal hurdles entering the cooperative union. Cheap often means complicated. But on the other hand, if it is complicated but still doable, this might be actually a pretty decent deal. Why? Well, because it will turn out other people. It will be too complicated for them. And if you're willing to go through the hurdle yourself, this will be a great deal. I've experienced a couple of these. Transformation takes time. Everyone wants to buy the next Karlín. 20 years ago, Karlín was looked down upon. Now it's gold. But transformation takes time. Look at the industrial history of Prague. Places like Vysočany or Písnice with the new Metro D offer value today because they aren't cool yet. Or if you want to live more central, consider Palmovka or Holešovice. By the way, we did a video about Metro D and the Prague Ring Road, so check it out after this one if you are interested in buying there. Buying in a developing area is smart, but you need patience. It's more like 10 years play, not a 2 years flip. My name is Robin, I'm founder of Expats Finance, and these truths might be uncomfortable, but they are the reality of building wealth in this country. If you want to know what your specific numbers look like, book a consultation or check out our other videos. And see you in the next one.